some of that rehab for your knee. So a couple of things that I'm gonna have with me in this video, you don't absolutely do not need them, but first one's gonna be an ankle weight. If you don't have it, that's totally fine, you can do it without it. This is 3 pounds, I'd start with 2 or 3 pounds and then go up from there. I have a Pilates ring to substitute this. You can use a soccer ball or ball of any kind, a rolled up sweatshirt, a pillow, anything like that will work. And then I have a resistance band in a circle. So if you go to the gym, they usually have these in light, medium, and hard. I'd go with light. When this one's at its full elasticity, it is 4.6 pounds. So, nothing super heavy. We don't need to go crazy with it because if you use it right, it's pretty hard as is. So to start, the first one we're gonna do, if you have that ankle weight, you can throw it on your right foot. I would advise doing this on both legs, even though I'm gonna demonstrate it on just my right. But we're gonna do, this is called 4-way hip. So we've got 4 different motions. The first one, you're gonna be propped up on your elbows, okay? Right leg is totally straight, left knee is bent. Your ankle is lined up with your knee. I want you to squeeze your quad, so as if you're trying to flatten your knee into the table, and your toes should be pulled towards you. They shouldn't be pointed down. Now from here, you turn your toes out towards 2 o'clock, keep that big squeeze in your quad, lift up to the height of your other leg, and slowly come back down, okay? So lift up, big squeeze in the quad this whole time on the way up and the way down, and relax. So where people make mistakes is they either point their toes, they forget to squeeze, or they really drop quickly. So the way down is most important here. So we're gonna do 12 of those that way. Then you're gonna roll on your side. Your right leg is on the bottom, your left leg is up top. You can either put it back or in front of you, does not matter. Keep those toes pulled towards you. We're gonna lift up and slowly come back down, okay? From here, I like to tell people this is our pillow talk position. So our spine is in a nice neutral. We're not arched up here and we're cheating with other muscles, okay? So lift and come back down. We're gonna do 12 in that position. If you were to roll over, I'm gonna show you my left leg. We're gonna go heel to toe with your top leg, so that would be your right leg, in the back. From here, without letting your hips roll and rock, we're gonna think there's a rod going through them. Lift up, hold, and slowly come back down, okay? So if you have weight here, that little bit of hold is gonna be pretty tough, and slowly return. What I don't want is you going all the way up super high, so you should feel the squeeze kind of the side of your butt cheek, and if you need to remind yourself, just squeeze your butt cheek, and that'll be a nice hold and relax. So that's motion number 3. Our last one, you're gonna be on your stomach. I want your spine in a nice neutral position. Your toes can point for this one, and you're gonna squeeze your butt cheek really, really hard and relax. So when you squeeze it fully, your thigh's gonna come up off the table just slightly, okay? But what I don't want is your hamstrings and your back to kick in and lift your legs super high. So that's not working your glute anymore. Okay, so we're just gonna lift, squeeze, and hold. So 12 in that position. So I'd say just 1 time through is usually pretty good for those ones. So 4 different directions. Big thing is making sure that squeeze quad is going. So next, I've got this resistance band. It's gonna go above my knees. Laying on your side, we're gonna come to a pillow talk position, so nice neutral spine. Think there's a rod going through your hips so they can't move. So my ankles are together, and when I look down my body, my knees, hips, and shoulders are in a straight line. So from here, without letting those hips roll, we're gonna open your top leg, hold, and slowly close. So we call these clamshells, and I like to start with just 10 on each side, and then you very quickly can move to 2 sets of 10, and then 2 sets of 12, 2 sets of 15, 2 sets of 20, etc. So we can just keep increasing these. But what I don't want is for you to roll your hips, and you're gonna feel that kind of inside of your thigh in the back. What we want is it to be right on the side of your butt cheek here. Hold and come back down. So if your butt doesn't feel on fire, you're not doing it right. So let me know. So you can keep that band on, and the next one we got, I call them monster walks. So I'm gonna turn the camera here just a little bit and shimmy back here. So 4 monster walks. I want you to pretend you're sitting in a chair. So with this, your knees shouldn't come forward over your toes. Your butt is just gonna come back, okay? My feet are about shoulder width apart, and I want you to make sure your toes stay pointing forward. So as people go, they like to turn their toes out because that turns your quad on. We don't want your quad to turn on for these ones. So sitting down in your chair, and toes facing forward, you're gonna take a big step and then a little step. Big step, little step. So when you make your big step and your little step comes in, I want you to keep tension on the band so we're not letting it get loose. But I also want you to stand up. So our shoulders are staying at the same height, and we're gonna do a monster walk. So I like to go about like 10 feet maybe and come back and about 4 times. So whatever distance you can do from the side, it's gonna look like that, okay? So that's monster walks, about 4 of those. So I'm gonna turn you this way. Last one we can do on your back here. You're gonna keep that band above your knees, and what you're gonna do is lay down nice and flat, push your belly button towards the table so that core is active, lift up so your knees, hips, and shoulders are in a straight line, and you're gonna open your legs wide and close. So as you do this, a lot of people will drop super low. It's okay to drop a little bit, it's natural, but I want you to slowly close them and open without letting your butt drop real low, okay? So I like to do about 2 sets of 12 on those ones, and what that's gonna do is fire up your hamstrings and your glutes. Excuse me, sir, this dog is making a guest appearance. So in conjunction with that, you're going to grab a ball or a Pilates ring in my case, and now we're gonna do the same thing, except instead of pushing our legs out, we're gonna lift, squeeze, and relax, and come down. Lift, squeeze, relax, come down. We're gonna do 12 of these as well, making sure that we get our hips all the way locked out when we squeeze, and you're gonna feel that on the inside parts of your thigh. So what that's doing is getting that VMO part of your quad to fire and hold that squeeze and relax to help get that patella tracking nicely. To stand. So what we're doing for these ones is we are working your quad eccentrically. So typically when we're walking, our quad is shortening and then lengthening. What we're doing here is really focusing on the lengthening, and we're also getting those hamstrings to do a ton of work. So for these ones, I'm using a bench here. You can use a chair, but you're gonna stand far enough away that when you sit down, your knee is at 90 degrees, okay? So from here, you're gonna balance on one leg. You're gonna do both legs, so it doesn't matter what you start with. If you want, you can absolutely put this foot out to the side as a little bit of support. A little further back there. So one foot's on the ground, the other foot's here just as a tripod, or you can balance. And what I want you to do is slowly sit down. I like to tell people it's like you're sitting on an egg, so don't squash the egg. And then from here, use 2 legs to stand up. So one leg to sit down, nice and slow, 2 legs to stand up. And I want you to do 2 sets of 5 on both legs. Next one we've got, you're gonna need a wall. So I'm gonna wheel you over here. Okay, so these ones are RDLs. So the big thing here, this is the name of the game, is all about your hip hinge. So I like to stand about a foot away from the wall, soft bend at the knees, and from here, you're gonna push your butt back all the way until it touches the wall, squeeze your butt cheeks, and stand up. So where people go wrong with these is they like to push their butt back, but when they feel like they can't go anymore, they just drop their chest. The big thing here is we want that hip to hinge and really, really feel a big pull in your hamstrings here. So if that even means standing a little closer to the wall, tap the wall and stand up, that's totally fine. And as they get stronger, you can move further away, and those hamstrings are also going to get a little more elastic and get a little more stretch, which is what we want. These are going to be neurodynamic glides, as well as just some good hip stretching. So the better mobility we have in our hips, that's going to translate to our knee. So the first one, you're going to be in a half kneel position. One leg is going to be straight in front of you. If this bothers you, you can throw a pillow or something under your knee. From here, the further forward your chest drops towards your knee, the more intense this is going to be. So what we're doing here is we're gliding that nerve through your muscles, so the muscles don't pinch down on that nerve. So from here, you're going to drive the gas pedal, pull your toes towards you. You're going to feel this probably in the back of your knee, calf, hamstring area. And I like to do about 12 or 15 of these before I switch legs. So when you switch legs, 12 or 15, give yourself some grace here. You're going to kind of feel that natural stopping point of where your chest is not going to want to drop any further, and it's going to be different from leg to leg. So 12 to 15 on that side, and then go back to the leg you started with, and you should notice a bit of a difference in that flexibility. So that's the first one. The next one we've got is going to be a pigeon. So from a plank position, you're going to drop front leg forward, so only bend your knee as much as you're comfortable with. And if you can drop down to your forearms, that's great. So we're here. And from here, I want you to rock your butt to the side and pop back up. So this is really going to stretch all those muscles in your hips. So if those get really tight, they're pulling your hips, which then pulls on your knee. So just making sure everything's nice and mobile here. So if you look at the other side, that knee's pulled in, you just rock that butt over and pop back up. With these ones, I like to tell people, you know when you're done stretching, so just do this as much as you're comfortable with, and just stop whenever you're ready. The next one I've got is a little bit tougher, a little more intense, so I only tell people to do 5 on each leg. So from a plank position, one leg is gonna hop forward, your back leg is gonna hop about halfway forward, okay? From here, you're gonna stand up and straighten your front leg fully, okay? The further forward your chest is towards your knee, the more intense this is gonna be. So if you need to stand up, you can also do this by a chair or something to give you a little stability. That front knee needs to be straight, and then plant your hands and switch sides. One leg hops forward, back leg hops halfway forward, stand up, straighten that front leg, and you're gonna feel a big stretch. So I like to alternate, do 5 on each side, and that should hopefully help those hamstrings feel nice and mobile and also strong so that they can do their job. Let me know if you have any questions or if you need me to check your form on anything, and I look forward to hearing from you.